Snowbound in Yellowstone and the Tetons. We all know the lush beauty and seemingly endless, colorful diversity of Yellowstone and the Tetons during the spring and summer months. But there's another side you might not have seen or thought about. For almost half the year, every year, the greater Yellowstone ecosystem is a stark, monochrome, frozen place that gets very few human visitors. Winter temperatures can plummet to minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit, and hurricane-force winds might whip at 100 miles an hour. Much of the parks are inaccessible to those people who do choose to come. In Yellowstone, just one park road, the 55-mile stretch between Mammoth and Cook City, is open to wheeled vehicles. In the Tetons, only the main road stays open. The inner loop is closed. And people that do visit should be prepared for a lonely experience where few services, no places to eat, no lodging, no cafes or hot meals await inside either park. Picnic areas and trails are closed or buried under several feet of snow. Even taking a walk requires post-holing or plowing through waist-deep snow for those who show up here without proper snow traveling gear. Driving on the few open roads requires winter tires and demands constant attention. Whiteouts are frequent. Icy roads are the norm. Ice is everywhere and certainly extends to the lakes, ponds, and rivers, which are mainly frozen over, the water appearing locked up until spring. Any water that does flow, despite the freezing temperatures, might be watched over by eagles for the slightest movement of fish. Ravens keep a watchful eye for any eagle or mammal who happens to catch some meat, and given the chance, the raven will try to duck in and steal a morsel. This is certainly a tough place to make a living in the wintertime. During our visit, smaller bird life seemed impossible to find during snowstorms. But once the skies cleared, I did spot a few feathered friends, such as a shrike and some dusky grouse. Swans made an appearance on part of the river that still contained open water. And of course, plenty of mammal life does exist here as well. And for the patient or the lucky human visitor, it is visible. Bison will most likely be spotted easily. This largest mammal in the park survives in roving bands of up to 100 individuals. Bison use their massive heads and shoulder muscles to plow snow out of the way, looking to reveal grasses that they can eat. It's a lean time for sure, but somehow eons of evolution have prepared the bison for this annual challenge, and they do survive. That one Yellowstone roadway that is somewhat maintained by humans often provides an easier pathway for bison to get from point A to point B. Still, they often make their own paths through even the deepest of snow and can be seen everywhere, even in the thickest forest setting. Other large herbivores include moose, elk, bighorn, and deer. Moose will typically be found in the lower elevation marshy areas where willow twigs provide just enough fodder for these ungulates to survive. By January, in the season when we visited, most of the male moose had already dropped their antlers, but once in a while an outlier of a male might still be wearing his head ornaments after December, and I luckily managed to find one male moose with antlers for my photography. Male elk will normally carry their antlers into February, and now that the mating ritual of the rut is over, groups of females might be seen without a male in sight. Males are usually found in bachelor herds of a few individuals or on their own. This one was running for his life from wolves, which we heard but never did see. Bighorn sheep stick to the steepest of cliffs where predators would have trouble and where the snow depth is more manageable and grasses are easier to come by. Still, any passing coyote causes the bighorn to stand up and pay attention. But a lone coyote or even a pair of these canines wouldn't dare to try and tackle a full-grown bighorn sheep or three. Bears, of course, spend the winters hibernating, so you won't see any of them in the winter. But winter is the time of the wolf in Yellowstone, and some human visitors make the trek there just to seek out these large carnivores. We saw few wolves on our visit, and those that we did see were mostly far away and best seen through a spotting scope or strong binoculars. Coyotes and fox were a bit easier than wolves to spot and to photograph. And each time we saw and photographed a coyote or a fox, I wondered aloud how such an animal could find enough mice or voles to sustain themselves through these tough times. Somehow they do. Other creatures that I know live here prove downright elusive and impossible to find. Despite following snowshoe hare tracks for hours, I only managed to spot one quickly running hare who never did stop long enough for me to get even one photo of him. But clear and calm days do, of course, exist in the area, and these provided some of the most breathtaking scenes that we witnessed. Clear days were also the coldest, when no blanket of clouds provided insulation over the earth. Each clear day we had, we made our way directly to the Jackson Dam, where open water created misty conditions and the foggy trees and scenes here were otherworldly beautiful. The cold temperatures were bone-chilling and made for a huge challenge to operate the camera without fingers freezing up instantly. Still, with thick mittens, chemical hand warmers, and a good dose of adrenaline, I was able to photograph most of what I wanted during our winter visit. My daughter and I also managed to get in some winter tubing in 2 different locations in Grand Teton National Park. That was a blast. The fact that there's very few other winter visitors make it worth the trouble of coming to Yellowstone and the Tetons in the wintertime. Unique scenes and snow-crusted animals make for wonderful photography. My advice is to prepare for the cold and the snow, but make the trip to northern Wyoming and these two famous parks, Yellowstone and Grand Teton. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you out there sometime.